Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to be here today. I hope you all are doing good. I am back today with another reaction. I will be checking out the rescue of Jessica Buchanan. So without further talking, let's dive right into it.
On a January night in 2012, members of SEAL Team 6 jumped from a plane into the skies of Somalia. Jessica Buchanan was being held hostage, and the SEALs were descending just in time.
Jessica?
Buchanan was a humanitarian aid worker who had come to help children in one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Hers was an ordeal that ended in a flash of violence, but had begun 93 days earlier when her car was stopped by bandits in a place she calls hell.
We stopped very abruptly, like so abruptly that I felt like everybody just fall forward. And then I start hearing all of this pounding on the windows and the windshield and all this shouting in Somali. And there's a man standing there screaming, and he has an AK-47 and he's shouting and he's pointing it at us. And then he climbs into the car next to me and he points an AK in my face. And they're hyped up like they're on speed.
You know, first of all, when he mentioned that type of gun pointed at their faces, it just baffles me how you point a weapon on someone's face like it's a toy. What goes through their mind when they do that? Why would they actually even do that? First of all, she's a humanitarian who has come to help children and help people. Is it that they just don't want people to come into their country to help people, or they just feel like taking them hostages, or just hurting people? I really don't understand.
We just take off. The driver just takes off and we just start slamming all over the place down these camel tracks.
What did you think they were going to do?
I figured they were going to rape me.
Oh no.
And then kill me. And I just keep thinking, this can't be the end. This can't be the end of my life. I'm only 32 years old. I haven't had any children yet. I didn't get to say goodbye to Eric. I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad. Like, this can't be the end. The driver is driving like just a madman. We're bouncing all over the place. My head keeps hitting the window. It keeps hitting the roof. I'm holding on to the side, the handle on the Land Cruiser, just trying to keep myself steady. And I hear from behind me a higher pitched voice going on in Somali. And I think, my God, they have a woman involved in this. And I turn around and I see a small child in the back of the Land Cruiser with an AK-47.
Oh my God. I'm listening to it and I'm feeling, so bad about such happenings, to especially people who, go out of their way because of, with their kind hearts to help people, to train children and, just help people in general. And then some bandits from somewhere who don't really care about human lives decide to capture them for just no reason. And I begin to wonder, what was the motive behind the capturing? Is it for money? I really cannot even wrap my head around it. And I just can't imagine what she'll be thinking at that moment. Like, this is the end. Like you rightly said, she had not said goodbye to families and friends, and she hasn't had children. It's just a very terrible situation to find yourself in. And such situations, I think, would make such people who really want to help people not to go all out to help anymore. Because finding yourself in such situation, endangering your lives because you're trying to help other people, I just don't know how personally I would take that if I would venture into such humanitarian work ever again. Because this is just so risky. You could actually just lose your life trying to help others. I know so many people have lost their lives trying to help or save other people, teach out of their good hearts and, and all that. So it's just terrible hearing this story, and it's so painful.
The irony of why I came to Africa in the first place.
Exactly the kid you were trying to save, a child soldier.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Learning the trade.
She'd been kidnapped along with a co-worker, Paul Fisted. They drove into the night, and then were ordered to march into the desert.
And they tell us to get down onto our knees. And I think this is it. Like, I'm bracing myself to be shot in the back of the head.
Oh my God.
And I think
terrible way.
That there's mercy in the fact that maybe they're not going to rape me first, but that it's just going to be quick. Are you going to kill us? Is that why we're here? He says, no. Money. We just want money.
Oh,
how much were they asking for?
They started out at $45 million.
They thought you were pretty valuable.
I guess so.
Where did they keep you? Day in, day out?
Under trees, outside.
You were outdoors for 93 days?
Yep, and in the night, they forced us to sleep out in the open.
What were you eating?
Tuna fish. Maybe once a day, we would get a small can of tuna fish and a piece of bread.
Oh my God, this is so crazy listening. It's bringing back a lot of memories. I've had like a very close experience because a family member was adopted as well. And I can just imagine I was anxious, the fear of losing a loved one to like kidnappers and all that, asking for a huge sum of money that you don't even know. This person is not even that valuable. When I mean valuable, he's not a politician. He's not a star that you would demand such a money. This is just normal, regular human that wakes up every day watching and listening to her say all these things. I could remember the situation I was in a few years ago as well, having to receive phone calls, transacting, asking how much, bargaining on human life. It's so crazy. It's not something that I would even wish upon an enemy, because that anguish, that pain of having to wait to hear the call, to receive the call, it's crazy. And I just cannot imagine what was going through her mind. And having to stay there for 90-something days, I just cannot imagine.
They were in the hands of men and boys who were chewing khat. It's a plant with the same effect as amphetamines.
They were so hyped up on speed. It was like drinking pot after pot of coffee. And then the crash would come, and then it brought a lot of belligerence and a lot of anger and a lot of temper.
It was exposure that took a toll. She lost 25 pounds. After 3 weeks, the bandits made a video to prove that she was alive.
Have you seen the video?
I have.
Paul and myself, Jessica, we are safe and we are alive.
I can tell
Oh my God.
I'm starting to lose hope at that point.
But hope would have to last for 2 more months.
As the many weeks went by, did you think the American government's watching me, they know where I am, and somebody's going to get me out of here?
No.
Oh my
Why?
God, of course.
Because I'm just an aid worker.
You didn't imagine that the President of the United States knew your name?
Never.
After 3 months in the desert, Buchanan had a serious urinary tract infection. And in a final call to the hostage negotiator, she said this.
I'd become so ill that I couldn't stand up. I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain. I think I have a kidney infection. And I started to cry and I said, I'm afraid I'm going to die out here.
When that call was received, that was transmitted to the president, who was also informed that in just a few days, there would be a new moon. Perfect darkness for a SEAL team rescue.
What did you say that night?
Please tell God that I need some help. We need to get out of here.
You couldn't have known that that prayer would be answered that night.
I had no idea.
Oh my God.
She was on a mat trying to sleep when she heard a faint scratching noise. One of the bandits she nicknamed Helper heard it too.
And I see this look of just sheer terror on Helper's face. And then all of a sudden, it's just this eruption of gunfire. And I just remember thinking, or maybe I'm saying out loud, like, I cannot survive this. And then all of a sudden, I feel all these hands on me.
No, at this point, I can just imagine she's giving up, being in the total darkness and not knowing what's going on with all the firing, across you, trying to protect yourself from everything. And then the grabbings, the hands pulling her roughly and all that. You just don't know what to do anymore. And in her situation that she was ill, I just cannot picture or imagine how she must have felt at that time. All hope must have been lost. You wouldn't even imagine where would the help come from. And it's just so unfortunate that it happens to good people who are just trying to help the needy, help the poor, and such a thing happens. It's really sad.
Then I hear my name, but it's not a Somali accent, it's an American accent. And they say, Jessica, we're with the American military.
Oh my God, it's like a
We're here
voice
to
of
take
hope.
you home, and you're safe. You're American. I don't
Unbelievable.
understand you're Americans.
Unbelievable.
Thinking, how did you get here? And then they identify themselves. They knew I was very sick. They have medicine, they have water, they have food, and they've come to
Oh my God.
take me home. This group of men who's risked their life for me already asks me to lie down on the ground because they're concerned that there might be someone out there, and then they make a circle around me, and then they lie down on top of me to protect me.
Oh my God, wow. Feels so good to hear this rescue, like after giving up on everything, like you just don't know what will happen to you the next minute, and then hope comes in. It comes like a dream. I guess the prayers, to the star actually really worked for her. And the level to protect one citizen is amazing. It's shockingly surprising how a country would go all out to protect one citizen who is in trouble. You don't get to see that all the time, most especially in Africa. It is difficult to see such a thing for just one person, for the whole military to be sent to protect and rescue one person. You don't even get to see that kind of help. No one even listens. No one would even hear you from where I come from. It's a whole different world. It's so, so different. And so when I hear of this rescue, it's like, wow, it's another different world out there. How important a soul, a life is to the Americans. It baffles me. It feels so, so great to see that. Human lives really, really matter. That's what counts. I didn't really care about their lives. They all surrounded her, like she said, to protect her. To protect her. Even with their own lives, they didn't care. That's amazing. That's surprising. Wow.
You were the most important thing in the world to them.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's really hard to comprehend.
They were going to take a bullet for you.
Mm-hmm. And they are trying to assist me to get to the helicopter, and I don't start breathing until we actually lift up off the ground. And they hand me an American flag that's folded.
What did you think of that?
Oh my God.
I just started to cry. At that point in time, I have never in my life been so proud and so very happy to be an American.
That's right. That's right.
It all ended just hours before the State of the Union address. As the president walked in, he had a secret with Defense Secretary Leon Panetta that almost no one understood until later.
Good job tonight. Good job tonight.
After the speech, President Obama called Buchanan's father.
That's
Jessica
how
met her husband,
should,
Eric, at a U.S. base
care for
in
his
Italy.
citizens.
I just couldn't believe he was standing there and that I was standing there.
You may recall that she said that her first thought when being taken was that she was too young to die because she hadn't had children. Well, she's taken care of that too. She and her husband have a baby boy, and they've moved back to the States from East Africa.
Wow, oh my God. This was such a very touching story, listening to her say all these things. First of all, wow, what the president did to rescue her was so amazing, was surprising, was shockingly good. I just cannot imagine. It rarely happens in other countries. From where I come from, I would say I've never heard of anything like that before. Never. Just one soul. The country sends military to rescue one soul. Just one person. How important the person is, how important the soul, the life is to the Americans than to other countries. It baffles me. And then watching this happen feels so good. It feels really good. It's so sad that people who really want to help people, humanitarian work, be kind and nice to the less privileged, to the hopeless, such a thing happened to them. What happens to other people who really want to go and help? They wouldn't want to do it anymore because of the experiences, because of the stories they hear, or because these bandits, they need money. What about these people who have flown thousands of miles away from their family and friends down to help others, to help your children, your families, your friends, and then you put them through such a situation? It's so sad. Like they said, there's no law in that country. So many places in Africa. It's terrible what people go through. You hear of kidnapping, adopting every day, all the time. Families and friends you hear demanding for huge sums of money. It's just a crazy world. It's a crazy situation out there. And I'm so glad that they saved her life. They rescued her. I'm actually so happy. Towards the end, it was just so emotional. Just how the president was happy to see a soul saved. It really meant a lot. Maybe to me watching as well. And wow, that was so good. Oh my God. It's a terrible situation, but with a happy ending. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. For me, it's bye.